Or we break the sound barrier.
Time, speed, distance.
I'm trying to break the gender barrier, okay? When are we going to be free?
There isn't a gender barrier.
The glass.
That's what you
wall.
would say, you
23,
white
24, mate.
cis male.
Come on.
You white cis male. Stop oppressing me.
23,
Yeah, what do they call it? A glass
Give her-
ceiling?
Give her the times.
The glass ceiling.
Glass
It's a
ceiling.
spectrum.
Just break it.
I am on the spectrum.
Of?
I know, I've heard people say.
Which spectrum are you on?
The dairy intolerant spectrum.
Oh, don't start. Don't
The
do that.
radio spectrum. Yeah.
Nah, so I never knew you were dairy intolerant. Do you also like how your cup changes color?
Wait, what?
Your cup changes
Does it?
color from black to grey because of the heat.
It's probably a bit late now.
Yeah, we thought you would
It's already
take
hot.
notice of that, but better.
That's okay.
Yeah, I never knew
Well,
you were well, not
I
intolerant. You were
think I
sensitive.
am.
You're sensitive.
Yeah, I'm a sensitive guy.
What's it
a little
called
bit
when you're sensitive to dairy?
Nah.
Transgender?
That's crazy. Cut all of that. Cut every bit of that out.
Why do you say that? That
Can we
is-
start again?
yeah, yeah.
Please.
And three,
3, 2,
two,
1.
We made it a total of 2 minutes before
Oh my
before Ariane got us all
Hey,
cancelled.
you would-
So Nick, how's everything in your world?
In my world. The same world that you would have, Nathan. Lucky me.
Nah, let's lock in. Hey, I just want to say, let's lock in.
You had a big interview with the Herald.
Yeah, it was great. It came out this morning. It was good to see that it is being well received, I suppose.
Mhm.
I was a bit worried about the edit, but if I can be completely honest, I think the Herald's done a pretty good job at finding the core argument. We gave them a lot to work with. There was like our part alone was like 45 minutes when we filmed it,
Yeah.
maybe even closer to an hour.
Flip.
So
So what,
how long-
36 minutes in the end?
the
with
total clip was about
intro,
35
outro.
minutes, yeah, plus
Yeah.
an
That's
introduction
pretty
and an outro and another speaker. So they had a lot to work with. I texted them this morning though, and I said thanks so much for having me. And I think it was actually a pretty fair representation of how the conversation went.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they displayed either side as less than or so.
Would you say that was your biggest interview you've done to date?
Oh, potentially, yeah,
Yeah, wow.
potentially, yeah. It was cool because it wasn't really an interview. It was like, yeah, it was more of that debate setting.
Like panel,
Panel discussion.
I felt the interview with the Herald, the panel, was great. I think there was a little bit of a problem in the sense that they started with an interview, a standalone interview, before you guys were on the panel.
Yeah.
And I mean, the activist, actor, trans person who was being interviewed basically kind of set the tone for I've been victimized, you know, I've been subject to hate speech. But then there was no kind of counter to that.
It really set me up to be a real asshole.
set you up.
Well, we didn't know. I had no idea until this morning that they had another person as part of the episode. They didn't say that to me. So my theory probably is that they didn't want to be part of the discussion with the group. They wanted it to just be them.
Oh, so the person that was interviewed before you guys,
Yeah.
on the panel,
We didn't know anything about that. So
and so I think if they had someone telling their story about how they had been censored, you know, maybe even like face legal action because of something they'd said that might have caused, you know, an angry response from people.
or even just that old lady who actually got assaulted at Albert Park,
You're sure,
who got punched in the face
exactly.
by a man.
Yep.
And
She was there in support of, you know, Posey
Posey
Park.
Parker,
So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I felt like if we were talking about total balance, the panel was great. I felt actually they did give you, the three of you, all different, your different perspectives came through. But I would say that they kind of predisposed viewers with the interview at the beginning. And that's fine to have that person being interviewed, but to not have another counter experience. Because if it's about your experience, then the Shortland Street actor who was interviewed gets that perspective across, but there's nothing to show the counter experience.
Yeah.
And then then it comes to you guys in the panel talking about your arguments, and that's where that was great. It was balanced.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. Yeah, overall, happy with how they sort of treated it. Definitely a lot to learn. I think I did have some advice from people who are a bit more experienced in the advocacy space, say that they never do pre-records and that they will sort of...
Because they don't trust.
Oh,
They don't
wow.
trust you.
Right.
And I was
Yeah.
like super conscious of that heading in. I even thought, should I record this for my own, you know, safety in a sense? I like sort of how David Seymour does with
Seymour
David
style.
versus the media. But at the end of the day, it's part of the business. It's part of the game.
Sure.
If they had edited it in a way that I felt was unfair, it just would have been tough luck, move on, and remember that for next time.
They don't want to face, the quandary that the BBC have found themselves in over Trump.
Oh
yeah,
man,
true.
that's
Maybe
crazy.
it's the timing.
That was crazy.
So, there might be a little more caution now exercised by media when they're doing this.
Mate, speaking of news, see all those MPs? Mate, they're rich, mate. They got a lot of houses, especially the national guys.
I mean, some people are shocked by this, but I'm not shocked by it. People generally to make a name for themselves, say in their electorate or just to get on the list, would probably have had some success in business. Many of them. I mean, not all of them, obviously, but many of them would have.
I look at that and I think, oh wow, these guys are financially and fiscally responsible.
Yeah. Let them run the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would I want someone who gets paid the same as them, who can't afford a house? I'm not naming any names, Chloe Swarbrick.
Green Party.
Why would I want that person in charge of the budget? Because she's been in there. She's literally a career politician. That every time it comes up, she's like, I can't afford a house.
So why? What are you spending your money on?
I mean,
brother?
she'd be close to 200,000 a year.
Yeah,
more. At least as a co-leader of a party.
They give 10% of their wages to the party, though. Did you know?
Tithing.
Yeah, they tithe to the Green Party. This is allegedly. Just allegedly.
Tithe. I mean, look. To be honest with you, it didn't surprise me. Property has been the go-to place for Kiwis to invest their money for how many?
Yeah. It's the easiest way to build wealth, to build generational wealth. Because who understands the stock market? Sure. Very few people. Sure. I've tried Sharesies, and it was more like a game than it was anything.
Might as well gamble.
Exactly. Yeah. By the way, just want to put it out there. I bought a lotto ticket when it was 55 million. I've won 5 lotto tickets from that ticket.
So you just won a ticket
every time.
Ticket.
Yeah, every ticket I've got is another ticket, and they're trying to rip me in. They're trying to get me in.
Would you say that you've broken even? I wouldn't say you've broken even. Because because you're almost certainly not going to win the next time.
But I played 5 times for the price of 1.
5 for 1.
That's pretty good.
How much is one lotto ticket? Like $20?
No, not even $20.
No, but that's like a Ponzi scheme, that kind of reasoning.
Yeah, but until I give them another $1, I'm the top of the pyramid.
No, you're not. I am because
where's the pyramid? I don't see a pyramid.
Because I give them $1, or they give me $1.
Your aim is to win money. Yeah, not the same thing you started with.
Yeah, well, in that sense, sure. But guess what?
No, that's the only thing. Guess what?
Logic. Either I play for as many times as I want for free, therefore only paid once, got to play 5 times, or I win and then I'm the top.
Yeah, I think it's a win in the moment.
It's a win-win.
It's not when you settle the ledger at the end of the day. It's not
win.
It's okay.
Okay, I know who I'm not getting $1 million.
You've got like if they're $20 each, you've won 4 extra ones, right? So you've made $80.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, listen.
There's $80 of value here.
Yeah. What do you
include me in your will, please?
It's because I said Chloe Swarbrick, and then all of a sudden you started doing green mathematics. He's like,
that's not green mathematics. That's totally
green mathematics. Is can you give me all of your lotto cards, please?
Yeah,
that's green mathematics.
No one's winning lotto.
No,
just me.
Give me all the money, and then I'll redistribute it. But I won't tell you how or who it's going to.
But the point is that you're so unlikely to win lotto, the proper jackpot.
You might as well go to the casino.
But I've already won one of the most improbable things, which is being born.
Oh,
mate, I was in a race of millions there.
Wow, you were in a race.
So I've got good odds.
You started as a winner.
We all a champion.
We all did.
Everyone has been born a champion. We want to talk that way.
Well, exactly, and that's how we should reframe life.
Yeah, okay, I agree.
That's why we should love each other.
The miracle of life. We're all champions.
How do we get here?
MPs owning houses. I actually think it's I'm with you. I think why we're making a big deal about this. I spoke on Rima the other day. I said we should be more concerned about who's donating to the parties than how many houses those people own.
Yeah, having said that, I'll be a contrarian here.
Tell me.
It's still worth knowing what people have to their name, like if they're going to represent you. Because, and we're arguing for this actually when it comes to the foreign influence register.
Sure.
We want to know actually where people's financial interests are at. Because there can be significant implications for policy, right? So, I mean, if you've got someone who owns 20 houses, I know what was the total?
The top one was a lady who had a family farm, and it was like her portfolio was 18 million. Yeah. Which, like, if you've been around money,
a lot of farms are worth a lot of money.
Yeah, 18 million is a lot of money, but also it's not that much money. Like for people who have a lot of money.
Well, John Key, when he was in Parliament, had way more than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not like Nancy Pelosi, who's never made a bad trade and has made hundreds of millions of dollars from insider trading. Like, I think if that was what came out, then there was real concern for democracy. But it's
let's go easy on Nancy. Her husband got hit in the head with a hammer.
Did he?
Did he?
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Pelosi.
Oh, when they broke into the house.
Yeah, this guy had lost the plot and broke into their house in San Francisco and like literally hit him in the head with a hammer.
Why are they living in San Fran?
Because they represent San Francisco.
Right, get out of there, mate. Get out of there.
There's body cam actually of the cops who responded to the emergency call, and as they get in, they open the kitchen door.
Wait, when was this?
It was 2-3 years ago.
I vaguely remember it. Yeah,
but anyway, we're getting off topic. Wow. But the point is that if you own say 15 rental properties, right, and then there are laws around rental, standards or rental,
for sure.
how do you
tax breaks for landlords?
How easy is it to tenants and blah blah blah.
Yes.
And people like that
it's good.
It doesn't stop them from necessarily voting on a law, but it's good to know that they have these sorts of financial interests involved.
I'm not against knowing. I just think it's funny that we make such a big circus about it.
I think some people do.
Yeah.
Others are like, good on them.
Yeah, I mean, if the biggest scandal that your party has is that you own a lot of property and not, I don't know, the fact that you're endorsing slave labor and shoplifting.
Green Party.
Pedophilia. I mean, I'm just saying.
Who endorsed slave labor?
What's her name? The Darlene Tana.
Oh, yes, of course.
Did she endorse it or she
right. her husband was bringing over migrant workers and underpaying them and then sending them away.
That's crazy.
That's right. They had that, was it bike rental on Waiheke Island?
Yeah. They were doing some hectic stuff. So this is the thing. Everyone's like, can you believe they own these houses? And I was like, yeah.
Can you believe they had a shoplifter in Parliament?
Like, allegedly, there could still be some there.
I suspect worse has happened.
Really? In that party?
In Parliament, yeah.
Did you see the latest TPM?
Te Pati Mori.
Takuta.
Takuta Ferris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talul. And he reckons he's like, if you want to dispute it, I'm ready to go. They're ripping themselves apart. Why are they doing this?
Well, it sounds like...
You love the Māori Party. Tell us about
it. It sounds like John Tamihere is ultimately the root of the instability.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, obviously, there are a lot of people who've come from an activist background, right? It form not just the party generally, but the leadership and those MPs. And so... they're going to be fiery over certain things, but it sounds to me like Tamihere is where a lot of the problems have stemmed from, and maybe he's just lost sight of what the purpose of the party was. It sounds to me like he has.
Did you see he was upset because 10 days prior to being expelled, they were in his office eating his kina, and
his what?
Who's Tamihere? Ferris.
Ferris had a bucket of kina that was given to him by his brother or brother-in-law.
What's kina?
Sea urchin.
Huh?
Sea urchin.
You know the spiky...
Have you never seen that?
No.
It's like it's an acquired taste.
We'll
do you like it?
You'll love it.
Do you like it? You don't like it, eh?
Yeah, I don't like it. It's all right.
Shout out to Peter Bogosian who could eat a ton of it.
To be honest, I like pretty much all seafood.
Yeah, I've never tried it. I've never tried it. I've just seen other people. Anyway, he's in his interview and he's with Mihi and he's like, these guys are in my office eating my kina. I had a bucket of kina. They ate all my kina. And then 10 days later, they do this. And all the comments were like, how dare you eat a man's kina and then stab him in the back? How dare you take his kina and then take his job?
I think, like, when you look at, people can put on a performance if they want in politics. But if you look at that interview and if you look at other interviews other comments that he's made, this is Ferris, he is clearly cut up about what's going on. And I think to give them, like, in good faith, even if you don't agree with the policies and some of the antics of the party, they have tried to achieve a certain outcome with that party to grow it, to have an impact in Parliament. You can debate all of that. It's really tearing them apart. Like he's clearly pretty cut up about it.
They can't manage the five of themselves, so no. I just don't see how.
Well,
they can manage
we say they can't manage themselves. I do think that the problem here is that there's a certain individual who's got a lot of power in that party, and
John, the president,
John Tamihere, and that others who are coming from different electorates around the country, right? They're coming from very different, like iwi and
totally,
and that sort of thing, and so they all come in obviously trying to represent the people that have seen them.
Yeah.
And with Tamihere, it seems like he has taken control of the party apparatus, right?
Sure.
He's got his fingers on the levers.
Dictatorial stuff.
Yeah, and then he's got his key people, like his son-in-law. His daughter is extremely active in terms of pushing a certain narrative about the family. Hey, I don't know them, so I could be wrong, but I think that's really where the root of the problem is coming from.
As John.
Probably.
I don't know.
I call him Mr. Tamahere.
Mr. Tamahere. Probably, and that's likely. I also just don't think that the characters in that party are very conducive to peacemaking and working things through together as a community of people, and not bringing it publicly. Like,
because they're activists.
Sure, yeah, exactly. All of them, and individually they're activists.
Sure.
And that's a good point to make. Individually, this has nothing to do with ethnicity.
No, I couldn't care less about
individuals
ethnicity.
involved. Yeah, because I think some people might hear what we're saying and be like, "Oh, these guys are anti-Māori," which I've seen one comment accusing us of that. We're not. We're not at all.
You're basically Māori anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, you're brown.
Right. Tangata Moana, bro. Tangata Moana.
Somewhat.
Tangata Moana. What's that? People of the sea, is it?
Pacific.
See, I was so close.
Yeah, I think Moana means water, ocean.
Yeah, there we go.
But I think it's the way that they
It's
the way they collectivize us as tangata.
Tangata.
So there's tangata whenua, tangata tiriti, which is
That's me. I'm tangata tiriti.
I think
Tiriti?
aren't you tangata immigration?
Tangata plane. I'm tangata.
Aren't you tangata
Work on it a bit.
asylum seeker?
No, I'm not asylum seeker. I don't want no. I'm tangata sand, tangata Iran,
Tangata sleeper agent.
tangata sleeper agent. Yeah, sleeper cell.
Tangata foreign interferer.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh, maybe.
So, someone did say, "You concerned about Aryan being a sleeper agent?"
I've had that coming from you for about 5 years. Everyone keeps asking me.
I said, "Yeah, I'll keep a close
Please
eye on
do.
him."
Maybe.
He's a smooth operator. He's giving 007 vibes.
You know me. Trying to take things down.
Nah. Oh well, it really is imploding there. I don't know what will happen next.
I'd
don't
love
know,
to see it.
But do you know, honestly, in politics, 11 months is extremely long time.
Yeah.
Right? Like before we hit the next election, there could be 5 more implosions of 3 other parties. There
100%.
could be.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Huge
forgetting that like Winston Peters in the 90s had New Zealand First Party, which was about as volatile as the Māori Party or Te Pāti
Really?
Māori
Wow.
right now.
I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's had their time in the sun. Eh? Yeah. Everyone's had their moment of controversy.
Yeah, of course.
If you have a short memory, you wouldn't know that. But
no, again, I mean, it doesn't mean that I agree with it, the certain policies, or I don't even know what the policies.
They don't have policies.
are.
That's the problem. They just want to destroy the system. Their policy is take down the system.
That doesn't mean I agree with those policies, some or all of them.
who's going to be leading national at the time?
The Right Honourable Chris Luxon is.
I'm sorry, I'm pretty confident that this is the bit you're going to lose.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to be too confident, but I am quite confident.
Look, I was right about Trump and Kamala. Got myself a very nice bottle of wine. I think I'm happy to lose $20 here if I'm wrong, but if I'm right, make $20 in bragging rights. Pretty good.
From an insider.
Yeah, this is your lotto kind of logic. Again, I'm not sure
I'm exposing my addictive gambling tendencies.
I mean, certain national voters would argue that you stand to lose a lot more if Luxon gets rolled.
That's right.
Because it won't go well for the party.
No, not at all.
There's no one who stands out as a replacement for Luxon at the moment.
Has there ever been a moment where a leader, a sitting leader, has been rolled and it's gone, well, not even just rolled, like just in the left and they lost, right? With Labour. Has there ever been a moment in history where a sitting leader's been rolled and the party's gone on to win with their new leader straight away?
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Was that what happened with Jacinda when she first came in? Or no?
I mean, I can think of lots of examples.
But they were in opposition when that happened.
Oh, you mean was in power, got
so he's
rolled,
talking
and
about
then won again.
someone who was already. No, I mean, if you think about just going back in my lifetime, when David Longy resigned, he did resign. He was replaced by Geoffrey Palmer. Jenny Shipley rolled Jim Bolger, in the 90s, in 99, I think it was, and then they lost the election.
Yeah. I suppose the question I'm asking is, has it ever been a good move? Is it ever a good
roll
move?
someone? Yeah.
Especially when you're in the position of power.
I think you'd have to have a serious scandal for that incumbent leader to get rolled.
There wouldn't just have to be dissatisfaction from within the party.
Yeah, or some sort of unfortunate event that they go through, like a health event. They have to retire.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
What it says, if you take someone who doesn't have any kind of particular crisis or scandal to their name and you get rid of them, and replace them with someone else, what it says is you don't have a solid kind of sense of vision for your party. You don't
You're
have
unstable.
the unity that
you're not
you need
united.
to govern effectively.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a good interview that Guy on Espiner did with Bill English on this question.
I haven't watched it, but I saw that sat down.
Yeah. Well, English just makes the point that, like it's not a good look to roll a leader going into an election.
No.
So
there's multiple reasons I think they won't roll him. Not least being not the last election, the one before that in 2017, the party went through 4 leaders, in the space of 3-4 months, and that was like their lowest, vote since like the 1990s or late 90s or 2000s, which exactly led to that. So I think that's way too fresh in the minds of the party, and so they won't do it.
The minds of the party, though.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the minds of the voters.
Totally. Yeah. And so if the voters don't like him, they might not vote for the party. But the party. And another thing is people can say, oh, he's not a great prime minister or whatever. And totally entitled to that. But I think as the leader of the party, as the leader of the caucus, not even as the leader of the party, because he's not the president of the National Party. He's the leader of, the caucus who have elected people. I think they like him. I think within the party, they're content at least.
Yeah, because I think he basically said, look, you don't have to like me a whole lot. You don't have to think I'm the most charismatic person, whatever. But, judge me on my results. And, 2 years in, people are like, hey, where are the results? Who knows?
There's actually quite a few, though.
Well, we could be turning a corner, though. I mean, we don't know that yet. Maybe the summer will reveal economically where the country's really heading.
Yeah, I think so.
There could be good signs.
I said way earlier in the year on an episode of Straight Talk that I thought that he would pull through. I've more recently said I thought he was going to get rolled. So I'm on the record for both. Which is what
I'm right both ways.
Which is what a great politician does.
Told you so.
He's the best. He's
Is this your soft launch?
Soft launch
for your political career?
I'm joining the opportunity party. What they need
Hold on, opportunity or opportunities?
No, just one opportunity. They need a
one
new leader.
opportunity.
Clearly, me and Arian were going to go to their Q&A on Sunday, but I figured it would be kind of pointless. They did a community meeting.
Yeah.
We didn't go.
What's her name?
Just Q.
QAnon.
QAnon.
Oh, she is QAnon.
The WE.
I'm not following you down there, rabbit hole. Sorry.
JFK.
No, but after that, you mentioned, I think last time at the interview that she did with Sean Plunkett on the platform, where she couldn't answer like what a woman was, and I mean that will actually
just say what it is, man.
Well, she did. That's the problem. Is in the end when she did answer it.
It's like, come on. If you're making policies for the country, just tell us what you think.
That's what you have to remember anytime you engage with someone who's like super into gender ideology. Every point they make or every rational thought they have, in my mind, when I'm talking to you, is preceded by the fact that you don't know what biological sex is. So I can't trust you on anything. Now I struggle to take you seriously on any issue.
But the point is, they all know what biological sex is. Yeah. They just playing a game.
Yeah.
They're playing a game.
The mental gymnastics is unreal.
They just don't know offend.
But just like it makes me not able to engage with you in good faith.
I love
on
watching
any
it.
issue.
I love watching it. I just love watching them melt when they ask.
Okay, good clarity.
Thank you. You're always trying to put me in a little dangerous corner
that
there.
was a pronoun that you were using talking about somebody.
Watching it. No. I just love watching the just a woman. Like if you want to, like if you're a woman, if you're a woman, I guess it's like, wow, that's Come on, what the hell?
No.
Honestly, I don't care. This is my views. It's not anyone else's views. Just answer the bloody question.
I want to say Arian's views are not the views of the show, and are not the. But although I agree with him, anyway.
How about that capital gains tax?
I don't even understand capital gains tax really. Can we talk about the capital gains tax and the official cash rate?
We can talk about the capital gains tax.
Arian, you study economics. Can you tell us?
I did. Well, capital gains tax. Okay, can I just start with my favorite thing about the capital gains tax proposal by the Labour Party? Is they didn't lead with the capital gains tax, which is a tax on any gains on an investment. Particularly, they look at it for property. So if your property is increased in value since you bought it, if it's increased in value, for example, by 100,000, they'll tax, and the tax is 10%. Then they'll take $10,000 to the government.
So you still made a profit.
You still make a profit, but just less.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the rationale for this, and it's a reasonable rationale, is that buying and selling houses isn't actually a productive endeavor. Like, you're not actually making anything for the economy.
Speculation.
Yeah, it's speculation, and it's circulating the same money, the same resources, and you're not producing anything in the economy, like, because you're just buying the same house. And so that's the rationale, because they want to divert spending and investment not towards things that already exist in the economy, but through production of new things and into businesses that produce and employ people, and so. That's
the generation of goods and services.
That's
so their argument would be, instead of buying, selling, flipping houses,
yeah,
buy more products.
We're not flipping houses because you might be actually adding value to the house if you renovate it.
Exactly.
But we're talking about just pure speculation.
But the risk there comes along with property speculation, right? There is risk there. For example, I know a bunch of people who bought houses just before the COVID pandemic, and they've lost, some of them, $200,000 on their investments.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And they might never get back that loss in a sense, but the only profit they make is through the mortgage they paid down.
Yeah, but they wouldn't be subject to capital gains tax in that case if it's depreciated.
I'm just saying that there's risk involved with that. It's not exactly like foolproof, although it is probably one of the safer ways to.
Yeah. But that comes with investing. The point is that the capital gains tax wouldn't affect them. So
capital gains are only on investment properties.
Well, no. If my point is that if the property had an increase in value but had decreased in value over a certain period, and they were losing on their initial investment,
there's no gains.
They're not going to get taxed on it because there's no profit made. I like a lot of economies, OECD economies do have a form of capital gains tax, but then people have made the argument that introducing the bright line test is just another form of capital gains tax.
I actually don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know what the bright lines test is.
So bright line test was when you bought a property, and then if you sold that property and it wasn't your family home, if you sold that property within a certain period of time, and they've changed the
it was like
the time
a short
limit
period of time at first,
Well, it's ranged from 5 years, I think, down to 2 years.
I thought it was 3 years.
It's now 2 years. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And so if you had done that, then you were subject to tax on any profit you made.
Oh, interesting. So that is a capital.
As effectively a capital gains tax.
Yeah, right.
But with time restriction there, because their argument was like,
sure,
because I know a few people who wanted to sell their houses because they bought and then moved cities.
Well, the reason, the reason, and the logic they say behind that is that, is that you hold on to your rental property for long enough, you're going to put tenants in it. There is a need for tenants, for rentals. Sorry, I should say for tenants, and so you are providing a service, or you're meeting a need in the community. But the problem was that there were people that were buying homes, selling them less than a year later. Yeah, sometimes even a month later. I remember going to a home. Wow. We were looking at buying, and we looked at the the sale history on the property. We looked it up online. It had changed hands 3 times in 18 months. Because that's when the market was going crazy.
Yeah.
And so, there were people not living in the house. They just kept it staged permanently. Whoever owned it at the time kept, had it staged, and they just kept flipping it. And every single person that had bought that house in the 18 months
had made profit.
We watched how much it went up. Now, that's a crazy kind of moment in our kind of
economic history.
But that's the logic, is that, okay, keep it long enough, you're more likely to put tenants in it. That's meeting a need.
Okay, so bottom line, is the CGT good?
I don't think.
Most people think no.
Why do most people say no? Is it something that we can objectively say yes or no?
There's 2 reasons they say it's not good. One, because the moment you start, it's like with anything. The moment that the government gets involved, it'll just get involved more and more and more. And one of the threats, one of the reasons they don't like it is like, you'll start with a capital gains tax on property, and then it will grow to the next item and the next item and the next item, and it just becomes a revenue generation scheme for the government. And it's just more government involvement in the system.
Slippery slope argument.
It's slippery slope argument, and also it's like the argument of like disincentivizing property investment and incentivizing the investment into other parts of the economy. If the other parts of the economy are not well functioning, and we have a productivity issue, which we do in New Zealand. It's like, well, okay, you're just taxing money now, and you're not actually addressing the structural problems around productivity.
What are they suggesting people invest in other than property?
Well, in growing companies,
Businesses.
businesses.
But what does it mean? Like,
Well, you just put more.
so, hey, instead of buying a house, can you start a business?
No, what they're saying is you don't have to start your own business, but you could invest in other businesses.
I don't. But
Well, you have KiwiSaver, right?
yeah,
So your KiwiSaver is invested in other businesses.
yeah, but I don't want to go do that. I want my KiwiSaver to do that.
Yeah, no. But
So they want us
still
all to
the point
have
there.
a portfolio.
No, so you don't have to go through KiwiSaver because that's a compulsory form of superannuation sort of saving. But the point is that you could get someone else. You could get someone to do effectively what KiwiSaver does for you, except you don't have to leave it in there until you're 65. And by doing that,
But
what you're doing is you're
pointing
putting
at is part of the problem. Is like, well, what do you want me to
I'd
do?
rather
with
just have a house. I'd rather just own
because
a investment
it's
property.
that's because it's tangible, and it's because the average Kiwi, like I'm not calling you the average Kiwi, but because the
Above average,
but the no, but the above average Kiwi can see it, they can feel it, like it's something that they can even work on and improve over time, and that's why Kiwis have tended towards property as their kind of savings account.
And you
Makes
don't,
sense. I don't disagree with
Yeah.
a lot of that, but
you don't tax your way into prosperity either. Like just simply put, you just,
thank you, Hayek.
yeah, exactly. yeah. We love Hayek.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I would say that there are look, we can keep taxing stuff. It doesn't, like you say, it doesn't solve the problem of our productivity issues. I think one of the best things that we haven't actually properly looked at is how we could get more of our KiwiSaver funds investing in infrastructure in New Zealand, because we're looking at like borrowing or doing these public-private partnerships with foreign investors on major infrastructure projects like motorways and stuff that we will need in order to grow our economy if we want to grow our economy.
Roads of national significance.
Yeah,
They love it.
I mean, for instance, how do we get Northland opened up? Because the road system up there is pretty shocking.
They've been improving it a lot, though. I think the Brenduruans, they just completed some work on it.
It's taken years, so many years, and
They
that
can't do it overnight, though. It's not like the
Chinese
Chinese
can do it.
hospital. It's not a
Chinese can do
hospital
it.
without
I'm not
tofu.
saying that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying
Tofu
is
drywall.
that, and you can't. I'm not suggesting that we compel KiwiSaver funds to start doing a certain
No.
percentage of their investment in New Zealand. But if we make it more favourable for investment, then we can get more KiwiSaver funds. We're talking about tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
That are going offshore to make money.
I just
We could do it here as well.
as someone who doesn't understand this in the slightest, like I haven't studied
I'm not
economics,
pretending
Most
I'm
people
an
are,
economist
but,
either,
but it
yeah.
does seem strange to me, just on what seems to be a principle base there. Why wouldn't you create incentive to pursue a certain form of investing as opposed to making it compulsory or de-incentivizing another form of investment through increased tax regulation, punishment in a sense? Like, why shouldn't we be free to choose how we invest our money? And
I suppose there are it's not, there's not like a single answer to this problem, and many different things could be true at the same time. I think we have existing commitments that are really core to our public service in terms of, or to our public services in terms of Kiwis expect it, and anyone politically would be committing political suicide, trying to substantially decrease those services. If you want to cut back on health, go for it, but see how long you last in Parliament. Now, it may be just that we haven't had the really tough conversations enough.
Well, just on the tough conversations, and this is what I was going to say at the very start. The thing I didn't like about Labor's approach to proposing a capital gains tax was that it was a bit Weasley in that it was like, hey, we want to give you, they fronted with 3 free doctor's visits a year.
Yeah.
Oh, and we'll just pay for it with a capital gains tax. But 3 free doctor's visits.
Well, they're even walking back. I don't know if they're walking that policy back there, but even like Chris Hipkins starting to say, actually, maybe it's not quite what we promised.
it's not even capable. They don't have the infrastructure in their healthcare system to offer that.
I know.
We can have
But
This is the point, is that at least, I'm not saying this because I support Labor. I don't support Labor, without saying too much about who I support. But I mean, at least they have made an attempt to address this question. Now, National are trying to do it in another way by talking about increasing contributions to KiwiSaver, right? From both, the account holder and the contributor, the employer. Sorry. So these are things we do have to tackle. Like the Australians have done it with their AMP, with their superannuation program. and it works quite well over there. It's not perfect, but we need to do something more like that. I think we have to figure out how to tax like this passive income, and probably at the same time reduce the rate of taxation or make it easier on people who are actually working day-to-day jobs. Because you see, you could sit there, you might have done well, and you might be clever, and you might have figured out how to get ahead in the system. That's great. You then have passive income from assets that you've acquired, and for the next 25 years, you're largely secure in that. You'll get to 65, and you won't just have to be relying on your KiwiSaver. But someone who hasn't necessarily been able to accumulate that kind of asset, they will get to 65, and they won't have enough.
So that kind of asset being property or KiwiSaver?
And so forget about the fairness question for a second. Yeah. Just realize that the money will have to come from somewhere if you offer superannuation.
Super is a third of total government budget and 10% of GDP.
And growing.
And will continue to grow.
Demographic crisis, right?
30% of the government's budget went on, well, sorry, not super, but super and benefit payments and all that.
And our birth rate is what, 1.5?
Yeah, and people
6 or 5.7.
Are we that low?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, replacement is 2.1. We're way below replacement.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing my part.
We're getting
You're both doing your part.
But so the problem is
I'll have a couple more. I'll pump out a couple more.
Yeah, we won't be able to leave the elderly, which will be me first because I'm oldest here. We won't be able to leave the elderly on the street. Like, that's just a fact.
Yeah.
And a lot of them will have tried to save, but not everybody's going to be able to earn enough money at the moment with the way things are to actually have a fairly secure retirement. I don't mean like they get to go on cruises. I just mean that they'll still have a roof over their heads.
Yeah.
So I think most Kiwis will realize this is a problem.
It's big.
And we need to deal with it.
And I think both parties have recognized it.
Yeah, personally, I think taxing passive income shouldn't really be that much of a problem as long as we are generating growth in our economy.
Yeah.
And when we're not, we then have to assess, well, okay, what happens in this situation? Because otherwise it becomes a serious dampener on innovation and investment.
Passive income being, for example, capital gains taxes, capital gains or dividend
it is passive income.
Yeah, you're not particularly working.
Well, you're not putting your body on the line. You're not out there actually having to,
you're putting up financial risk to get involved in that. What happens if all your speculation falls through? Then you're off.
What, in property?
But seriously, what happens if you put up your finance, your livelihood in investment?
Everyone going to work every day, you're risking your life on the motorway. You're putting your body on the line in a lot of professions.
But I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, treating it as if it's just like
cheap money.
It's cheap money that you acquire through luck. I think is like a tough way to look at it.
No, I'm not saying that. I didn't say that. I never said I see it as.
But that's how. Maybe that's how it feels like this argument goes. It's like, oh, these guys have got passive income. Yeah, because they have put up risk. They have invested. They have been good stewards. They have been smart. Now,
and there's an argument for double tax, right? Or against this because it might be seen as a form of double tax, right? Double taxation. Because you got tax on the money that you used to buy the house, for instance, and now you're getting tax on the house again.
I hate tax, because every dollar I earn is taxed, and then when I spend it, it's more tax.
I don't know. Ultimately, I think there's lots of
this tax go?
Well, I think there's lots of privatization stuff that can work, and I've seen it work in lots of other countries, and public-private partnerships can work well too. But ultimately, our roads and hospitals in New Zealand have served us pretty well for a very long time. The question is whether we're prepared to continue investing in those to keep them functioning, because we've reached a point where we're going backwards on this stuff. And our rate of taxation.
Has it been mismanagement or has it been a lack of funds?
The reason we had the stuff in the past is because we actually had a higher rate of taxation.
Yeah.
And we're actually paying less tax now than we ever were.
We're paying less tax now?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yep. Even when you account for like the splitting of income tax and
Why is
GST
that?
into two components. We were much more of a social democratic economy in the past.
I don't know.
That's why Hipkins is a social democrat. He's a socialist, he says.
He's a commie.
Speaking of socialists, New York. Hasn't
You're
imploded
good at
yet.
this. You're very good at this.
Still the capitalistic capital of the world for now.
For now, yeah.
For now, until the wealth flight, they will move to Florida and start
the
42
mosques.
new Disneylands.
Yeah.
But he went to the White House. Did everyone see this?
I did. I loved it.
That's awkward, eh? When you've been talking about how you hate big government, we're going to get the White House out of New York. Trump's a fascist. He's this and that, and then you have to go stand next to him.
Well, also what Trump said about him.
What Trump said about him?
Trump called him a communist and yeah, I mean all this kind of stuff.
But the thing is, he is a communist. I don't think Trump is like.
He hasn't called himself a communist. He's called himself a democratic socialist, right?
He's a commie.
Well, I don't even. Did he even call himself a democratic? I think he did. But so has Bernie Sanders and others.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I genuinely thought that he had described himself as a commie.
No.
I don't think he would mind being called a communist. Like, I think he would wear that with honor.
I'm absolutely. I can guarantee you, he's not called himself a communist.
Oh, okay.
But then some people say, "Oh, hold on, a socialist." A socialist is the same thing.
Same thing.
It's not exactly, because there are plenty of communists in history who call themselves socialists, but there are also a lot of socialists or people that call themselves socialists who are not communists.
It's a spectrum. They're fluid.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's a spectrum, because it can be seen as if you're a social democrat, then you believe in universal healthcare, provision of public education, and so on. But that doesn't mean that you necessarily, disregard civil liberties, democratic system as a way. Because if there's a general consensus in the population, a majority of the population say, you know what, we like the idea of universal healthcare, then you've subscribed democratically to an approach. Now there'll be a minority that don't want it.
A lot of these things though, they have all these ideals and these ideologies that they espouse, and good on them. It's like, oh yeah, sure, universal healthcare would be amazing. Like, if we all just have free healthcare, how are we going to get there? Well, we're just going to take from other people so we can have it. Well, what are you going to do to produce? What are you going to do to contribute to achieving that for everyone? Well, I shouldn't have to. Like,
I'm not sure I'm quite understanding what you're saying.
Because their whole thing is like, well, we should have everything that we want and perceive to need, but we shouldn't be responsible for producing the means that enable us to have that. That should be taken from other people.
Yeah, that's how the kind of like the social democrat position is often portrayed. The point is that those social democrats are actually paying taxes too, and some of them are earning $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year. So that it's not like they're saying only the people on the right of the political spectrum will be paying this tax. That's how the people on the right of the political spectrum often portray it.
I'm not saying that only those people should be paying tax, but they're always saying we should take more from other people so that we have more free stuff.
Well, it's not just more from other people, because they themselves are submitting themselves voluntarily to the idea they've proposed.
I don't think they always are. And they're often not in those positions.
Well, they'd have to be getting an exemption from the IRD not to pay the tax if that was the case. But they're not. They are paying.
I mean, I haven't seen many returns from some of these people. Some of these parties haven't filed their returns in quite a while.
Look, don't get me wrong. There's probably some people that have argued this and then, cheated on their taxes. But there are lots
because there's rules for me.
There's lots of hypocrites out there. Absolutely, there's hypocrites everywhere. But my point is still that these people are actually voluntarily submitting to the system. That they're submitting to the system that they've proposed themselves.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think in theory they are. They're saying
they are in practice. You look at the tax returns on these people, the people that say this. I'm not saying that they all do it. There's some that will have cheated on their taxes, but I'm saying that social democrats in countries like lots of Europe, right? Lots of places in Europe, they are doing this. They're paying a higher rate of tax because they say, "Well, I'm prepared to do it," and I think others, if we can persuade them in our democratic system to do so as well, they'll also pay a higher rate.
Sure, sure in Europe, but in America, these people are saying we should have this, that, and the third, and it's not that. So in theory, they're submitting themselves to. If we ever got there, we'll be part of it, but they're not part of it. So they don't. I
think look, you could say there are some tech billionaires that have made massive donations, to the Democrats in the US, and then there's some cases where they've made like $1 in terms of their personal their tax returns, that's what they've declared. When we all know that they're borrowing against the enormous amount of wealth that they have, and then then it's a write-off, in terms of their tax returns, and so they're not actually paying income tax. Like this is what Trump was accused of, although he's obviously on the conservative side. But my point is still that the vast majority of people that vote for this type of policy are saying, all right, I'm prepared to be, like submitting myself or subjecting myself to this new to this tax approach, and I'll pay a higher rate if it means I get universal healthcare that works, where I can get seen by doctors in a reasonable amount of time. My kids can go to school and not have all these secret fees, sprung.
But do they,
once I've enrolled them.
Yeah, I think most people.
I think most Kiwis do see it that way.
Most people would say, look, if I paid taxes, I don't care how much. If I paid taxes and I got everything I wanted, I don't think most people would say, oh, but they wouldn't bat an eye. I think, but I think the problem most people have is they feel like they're paying a lot of tax and they're not receiving it as is. And so when Labor comes and says we're going to tax you more, they're like, screw you, I don't want you to take more of my money. What are you going to do with it?
That's exactly the point I'm really trying to get at here, is that I totally agree with you.
Right.
If we were getting a universal healthcare system as we once did, and I'm not saying it was perfect in the old days, but it was certainly far more efficient and less wasteful in terms of what the product that we got in terms of our healthcare. The same is true of public education.
Because
never
economies of scale and
exactly. And because there aren't some perverse incentives there for insurers, like you can see in the US system. Yes, you can get some excellent healthcare in the US, don't get me wrong. But you have to be, with the right insurance company, you have to,
the system gets gamed eventually.
That's right. And it basically favors you if you do make a lot of money. And that's why they've had issues there, massive issues, which people on both sides of the political, spectrum in the US will agree they've had, right? Major problems around how they do their healthcare system. And so all I'm really arguing is that New Zealand has proven in the past that we can do it, but some major things have changed. Our demographic problem is really the biggest challenge. But also, comparative to wealth generation and income, the rate of tax, or the amount of tax we pay, I should say, has decreased per capita. So,
I genuinely don't know.
Well, because of that, like neoliberal reforms from like the 80s onwards under the Longi government meant that we saw like reform to the tax system, which favoured businesses, favoured kind of corporate enterprises.
Interesting.
And lowered the tax rate effectively for most people, but it meant that there was less money going in, and then at the same time we've had it, sort of this hourglass, not an hourglass actually. It's sort of an inverted pyramid really, in terms of our birth rate and our aging population.
Illuminati confirmed. So did you see that our X account is run from New Zealand? We're officially not a PSYOP.
Some people aren't, but we won't name names. But
we're officially not a PSYOP now. People trust us because we're located here.
We are, and that's good that we can affirm that. But it is interesting though that people would just trust X.
Why not?
No, I just mean
I trust X with everything. I ask every morning. I wake up. I say, "Grok, what do I do?"
Good morning, Grok.
Good morning, Grok. How should I navigate today?
Yeah. And I'm not saying that they're wrong to trust that. The geolocation thing is accurate, but it is interesting because how would we know?
No, so
we've got no way of really verifying
ones that are like potentially inaccurate or perceived to have used VPN, they do put a little notification next to that and say, "Hey, just by the way, our team's flagged this as potentially not the right location."
Yeah,
we don't have that issue. We're New Zealand.
Yeah,
born and bred.
We're Aotearoa.
Tangata Tariti.
Surely there were just like some straightforward hacks. If you're an organization and you have somebody that could is acting in your particular service of your organization, they could be overseas.
Yeah,
they could post it. That doesn't mean that the majority of what you do is happening in that country.
That's where the account was created, what app store they were connected to when they downloaded and signed up. Yeah, that's the thing. So it's not like activity; it's origin.
That's what I mean. So to me, it's like it's not very conclusive of anything.
I literally base my whole life off it now. That's the
but what I mean is if you started your X account while you were in the US,
while you were over there,
right?
For sure.
And then
maybe
you're
in the
here.
States and you're like, oh, I've never heard of X.
Well, let's say you're over there at a conference and you think, oh, we really should create that X account for our organization, and then you create it there, and then you come back to New Zealand.
But I think the handy thing is if you see a whole bunch of messages saying, oh, you're getting $7,000 from Israel, and then you just check, and they're all from Qatar, then I think
that is the idea. Yeah.
I think
that you would see if foreign actors are commenting on.
Yeah. But your point still stands. Of like, if I was just at a conference, totally. But I want to know who the bots are, the Chinese bots, and the Qatari bots.
Good luck.
All the bots. 100 million fake accounts on X. You're gonna find them all.
Is there 100 million? You know, Iran had Iran had an AI conference.
Yeah,
they don't have great AI there, but they had an AI conference, and they literally dressed up these two people in like AI clothes to make them look like robots, and they painted their faces and everything. And
what color?
Like silver. They're like silver with ones and zeros. Yeah.
Racist.
Nah, borderline racist. And they went around and they were like, "Look at our AI," and it was just two blokes. It was a chicken. It was a chicken, a dude.
Have you ever heard that story about the Amazon stores that had tracking? Have you heard about this? So Amazon launched this string of supermarkets in the States predominantly where you could walk in, scan your Amazon pass as you walk in, or log into Amazon as you walk in, and you just walk around the store and you take whatever you want. And they have
I've been
cameras.
to one of those, yeah.
Or they've got cameras on the roof and it tracks you and it tracks what you buy, and then you just walk out and it automatically deducts it from your Amazon
I went to one of
account,
those shops, yeah.
It came out that, and I don't know if this is for all of them, but it came out that the cameras were actually not connected to AI, but were connected to like an Indian call center style building where overseas they were tracking with real people. So they just had all these cheap labor workers tracking you and charging you. And so I don't want to say it was all of them were doing that, but they found instances where that was happening. So it wasn't AI, it was an Indian call center.
You feel so disgusting. Like when I was in London, there was a shop that was like that. And I went in and there was just one person running the whole store. And I would try to go in and the door wasn't opening. He's like, "Oh, you need to like scan your card before you enter so that."
Oh, your FPOS card?
Yeah, your FPOS card. So I go in and then he's like, "Yeah, just take whatever and walk out." And I was like, "What?" And I like would take something and I look around and then I just walked out and it felt like, and it charged me the right amount and anything, but it feels so wrong. It's like
walk out and immediately get pepper sprayed.
yeah,
kicked
exactly.
on the head. Get on the ground. We have an exciting meeting coming up with a bunch of MPs from IPAC to discuss our foreign interest.
We're not going to disclose the time or the date.
Yeah.
Or
no one knows the
location.
time or the date.
Yeah.
They don't know the time.
Clarify with me on this, because I keep calling it the Foreign Interest Registry Scheme, but it's the foreign influence.
Yeah.
The foreign influence. I keep calling it interest. We're all interested about.
I'm very interested in the
foreign influence registry scheme.
Register scheme. Yep.
And we're going to meet with them. Hopefully, get some people on board officially to carry it forward. Yep. Need to draft it. We're going to look at the UK bill. We're talking to some people internationally, picking up some really good momentum. Effectively, we're going to take out China. Just the three of us.
Yeah, people are like, don't you feel daunted? You know, of course, like it's not just about us, right?
No.
We'd be foolish for thinking that.
And it's not just about China as well.
And it's not just about this one law that we would try and lobby the government to pass. It's about people starting to take sense of ownership of this problem because it's well entrenched now in New Zealand, and it's going to take a lot of effort to really get people aware and then doing something about it. Yeah. So we've got to start somewhere.
Yeah. It's the first step towards transparency.
But it sends a big statement if we could get some success on this.
And then we are also having some other meetings around the social media ban soon with our special guest that's going to be on the podcast.
Oh, true. Yep. Second week of December.
Yeah, second week of December.
Yeah.
So there's lots of good stuff coming up. Yeah. And then obviously heading into the election, we've got a lot of work happening. But our 3 key campaigns will be around those 3 issues, and got a lot of interest there. So that'd be good. What's everyone else got on the plate before we wrap up the year? We've just planned our Christmas party.
Christmas party.
You're working on something great. Your op-ed, but it's actually more of a series,
book. Yeah. You've got a tell-all book.
But even the piece that you're running at the moment,
foreign interference.
The piece that you're running at the moment is like there's so much in there that it could be like a multi-part.
Yeah.
It's trying to figure out how to tell it the most impactful way.
Yeah. I mean, what ultimately are the key points? Because there's a lot of things that can be said about this issue. A lot of alarming things that are going on in terms of foreign interference. What though is going to have the most cut through with the New Zealand public? Because that's the key question here. If we don't get the public, mobilizing on this and putting pressure on our politicians to do something, sort of real tangible, then we're going to be stuck. We're going to be stuck, absolutely, like in deep trouble. So, and I think the key thing that keeps coming up is people say, well, yeah, but the economic, downside is huge. China is our biggest trading partner, and number one in terms of goods, number two in terms of services.
True that.
Accounts for like well over $20 billion worth of trade, for us. Well, I should say our export market, about $40 billion in terms of trade both ways. How are we going to possibly pivot away from that? Because that could ruin our economy.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, the point is not
and already struggling.
Let's flick a kill
economy.
switch and stop all trade with China. The point is that if you want to make yourself so vulnerable to, bullying by a superpower, we shouldn't take it as like a given that just because China is a superpower that they can tell us what to do, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, let's be realistic. We're just a small country. What are we going to do? Well, we don't have to do what they tell us.
No.
Absolutely not. We didn't have to. I mean, the USSR, right? The Soviet Union was a superpower.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do what they told us. And people say, oh, well, we did what the Americans told us. We didn't actually.
No.
We had a nuclear-free policy before the USSR had even fallen.
That's right.
When we were expecting that the US would at least kind of look out for us, even if we weren't prepared to be in the ANZUS alliance.
That's right.
So I think a lot of people just forget history. And they assume, there's no way we could possibly stand up to China. There absolutely are there's many ways we could stand up to China.
It's got to do it.
And it doesn't mean that it'll cost us economically in the long term. Yes, in the short term, we will pay a price. But if we're careful and clever about it, we can start pivoting away in certain sectors that make us more vulnerable to other economies.
Yes.
Other trading partners.
To our own benefit, because there's a lot of talk about China's economy not being too flash for the long term as well.
Even if China didn't pose a kind of geopolitical threat, economically, we don't really know what's going on there. And so we could find ourselves in serious trouble, given that they have a really serious demographic crisis, already upon them.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things about their economy that we can't gauge accurately because we don't know, other than through the Communist Party of China telling us quite what their settings are, quite what their outputs and
that's right.
Their sort of long-term prognosis would be. So I think there's a heck of a lot of stuff that we should be waving the red flag over here, and I don't mean the Chinese flag,
not the one with yellow stars.
No. Yeah, but one other thing we haven't talked about. I was able to visit the Taiwanese embassy. I'm going to call it the embassy, the Taiwanese embassy.
Oh, say it.
Technically, they call it the Taipei. Was it
friendship building?
No, economic and political office
of the Republic of China.
Yeah, of the Republic of China, because Taiwan is actually technically called the Republic of China, which goes back to its original sort of days when.
What if Taiwan attacks China and takes over China?
So is it considered self-harm?
Sorry, that was stupid. Anyway, sorry, this is a serious conversation.
Hey, Nick, thanks for telling us something really interesting. Sean,
anyway, just to finish my little story.
Before you were interrupted there by Iranian infiltrator.
I had an amazing meeting with the representative, who is actually the ambassador, and just a really awesome discussion with them, just simply saying, look, we think that what is being done to Taiwan and what has been done to Taiwan for so many decades by countries that ought to know better, that are liberal democracies, treating Taiwan, which is also now a liberal democracy, has been for 30 years, in the way that we have been, like we're basically pretending they exist in a parallel universe.
Wow.
Right? That they're not really a country, when in fact they have been self-governing since 1949. They are a democracy now. They have an incredible economy, a very strong economy, I think. I mean, they're our 9th largest trading partner, for instance, right?
Wow.
They punch way above their weight,
Yep.
And like just saying to the Taiwanese ambassador, listen, this is wrong, and Kiwis should develop a backbone, and we need to actually stand up for fellow democracies. Because if we don't, why would we ever expect anyone else to stand up for us? If we want to approach it from a sort of self-interested, perspective, there it is. But just it's just the right thing to do. And especially when you consider that, the People's Republic of China, mainland China, is an authoritarian regime. People there can't even own private property. Like, it's all owned by the state.
Yeah.
You want to own something there, you have to buy an apartment, but you never get to own the land.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, you may own the building, but you can never own the land. The government owns the land, every single bit of land.
Genuine question. How is that different to, isn't all land in New Zealand Crown owned?
Well, no, you have title over it.
Yeah, you have title, but ultimately the Crown has.
Well, I mean, you could make the argument like,
it's different.
There's a public acts work, where they can take the land off you, but they have to
compensate.
you.
Right?
Compensate you.
Yeah,
right?
it was just out of curiosity.
The point is that in China, you don't have any legal title over the land.
Yeah. You're renting it off.
So
off
it's still communist in that
100%,
respect, even if in other respects they've kind of changed their approach in terms of bringing in a form of capitalism. But it's still state controlled,
100%.
right? Capitalism, which isn't really capitalism.
Yeah.
So, there's all this going on, and we're siding with China. Why? Purely because of the money. That's it. Okay. People were like, it's a hard world. It's a tough place, and sometimes you just got to do. Do what you got to do. Well, you don't have to.
Well, I don't see. Take the meat, take the dairy, take the fish, take the food. Don't touch my democracy.
Yeah, sure. And we can keep selling them food. I have no problem with the idea of selling food to China. Yeah, we want to send them, but not on the condition that we have to say the things they tell us to say, because that's what it is. It's compelled speech. If we're going back to our free speech roots here at the Free Speech Union, compelled speech was a problem we dealt with all the time. Right?
Yeah.
Why would we have to read from the script that China has prepared for us over a question like the future of Taiwan? Taiwan's a democracy like us, and we are reading from China's script.
That's ridiculous.
Then what have we done to ourselves?
That's ridiculous.
You
lose your identity.
We're invalidating our own democratic right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, after that meeting with the Taiwanese ambassador, I was like, this is just renewed for me that sense of this is unjust. We've got to do something about it, and if we don't, it's going to come at a great cost to our own democracy. So, go back to whatever you interrupted me over, please.
What was I saying? No, that was really good. No, I just thought, what if we're worried about China taking over Taiwan? What if Taiwan takes over China? I think that would be quite the turn of the century. Yeah, it'd be quite exciting.
That would be a parallel universe.
Free China forever.
Nah, the Taiwanese have no interest in taking mainland China.
I would
interestingly, though,
you paint them with their brush.
Taiwan, for the first probably 30 years of existence, when it was sort of surviving under a nationalist kind of dictatorship, still had this kind of stated aspiration or ambition to take back mainland China because they had been in control before the Communist Party took over. But they abandoned that idea. They realized it was totally unrealistic at a certain point. And then in the 90s, they became a democracy. They like fully democratized in 1996. And they've been for the last 30 years a liberal democracy, a very vibrant one too. Very resilient, vibrant democracy.
Good on them.
I just go for a visit.
Well, hey, I was thinking last night, just reading some of the news that's coming out of that part of the world right now, I'm concerned that we're not going to have that opportunity to visit Taiwan. It's sounding more and more ominous what's going on.
Well, yeah, it's heating up, the language, the threats, the overtness of the threats as well. It's pretty crazy. Like I saw they lashed out at Japan again in the article you sent yesterday.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy.
Don't touch it. Don't touch.
Well, gentlemen, Taiwan. Look, we have covered a lot of ground as we usually do.
Yep.
And quite enjoying these conversations that we're capturing as podcasts. Had some good feedback just about how people are enjoying seeing how we come to our positions, our thought processes.
Oh, very good.
So it's good. And
I think it's also just worth reminding people that like we might appear to be arguing very strongly for a certain perspective, but a lot of the time we're just doing it for the sake of trying to understand the issue. We're sometimes playing devil's advocate, and each one of us will probably take a position at times that we're just doing. So we're doing that from a theoretical perspective. Like, okay, hold on. Let's put myself in the shoes of that position or that person holding that position.
Well, it's that whole idea of trying to steelman a position that you disagree with, so that you can fully understand. And what Peter Boghossian talks about a lot with epistemology, it's way better to try and understand someone, hear them out, let them speak, try and stillman them, because then at least you can have a rational, logical conversation past that point, and they feel like they've been heard. And
understanding why someone has come to the view that they have.
Exactly.
Powerful.
Exactly.
I still don't like the Greens though.
Let me just make it abundantly clear. Nick and I are politically neutral when it comes to the work that we do.
You can call yourself that. I'm not going to claim that I'm neutral. But
I'm voting
very biased.
I want to act in good faith. I want to try my best to understand where a political party is coming from, even if I don't agree with the initial premises that they, start from.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But at least you could kind of try and figure out whether it's a rational position based on their priorities, right?
Yeah,
where they're first coming from.
Mr. Slow Outro, have you got anything else to say before you roll it?
No, I think I've said my pieces. My multiple pieces have been put out into the world. So
let people know where they can find us and Slow
Look,
Outro.
you can find us on nzpillar.com. You can donate to us you're actually not donating to us. You're donating to Pillar. And above all, you're donating to a work that is focused on promoting democracy and freedom in New Zealand. So if you've made it this far, I encourage you to look at nzpillar.com. Join the mailing list. Look, some people don't like the word mailing list, but too bad. Tough luck. Join. Lots of really good information comes out on there about the work we're doing and the latest news on campaigns. And I think you should read the kind of the very well thought out stuff that comes out there. Anyway, nzpillar.com. Thank you all for listening.
He froze. He's rebooting.
He's had a stroke.
We said his trigger word for his sleeper cell. He's like,
he's got narcolepsy.
I forgot. What's the outro? Is it
what's the outro? You the outro.
I know,
it's whatever you want it to be.
No, but it has to be the same. It's
stay in touch, stay in tune.
Stay in touch.
Oh my God.
Stay in tune, and we will see.
Here
you soon.
I was staying quiet, thinking I'm listening to him make this graceful, slow outro. I'm gonna give him space this week. I'm gonna let him talk.
Interrupt him this time. No, he interrupted himself.
He trips up at the fire.
No, that was good. That was good.
Stay in touch, stay in tune. We'll see you soon. Love you all. Well, not all of you, but some of you.
Oh my God!
Love you, Mum.
Yeah.
This is as successful as
This is the best outro.
that Malaysian Airlines flight. Holy! Nah, good job.